If you're a newbie, welcome. This is where Europe happens. This is where the energies come together. People from Portugal and people from Slovakia. People from Greece and people from Germany. The Muslim, the Christian, the Jewish, the atheists. The black, the brown, and the white Europeans. Those who have lived through the economic boom of the 60s, and those who think that it's delulu to think that labor is something to desire. If you don't understand this joke, it's okay. My Gen Z assistant wrote it for me. I just repeat it. But as we advance in this adventure, we are being asked not only by our voters and supporters, not only by our donors and potential voters, but by history itself. What is it, this United States of Europe that we want to build? What does it feel like? What is it that we want to do? And this is because when we were founded in 2017, being pro-European and being progressive was equivalent. The reason is that in 2017 and the years before, while we were busy with indie music and Instagram filters, actually a lot of Eurosceptic organizations were popping up in every country. They were saying that the state-nation needed to regain its sovereignty and that they were tired of the rule of Brussels. So if you were pro-European, you were a progressive. But is it the same today? You know, the majority of the demands of these organizations, of course, I find ridiculous. But I do want to say that some others, I think they made sense. I'm going to give you a very example. Please follow. Did you know that France, for 10 years, violated the 3% deficit rule? For 10 years. And it was not sanctioned. Like, everything continues as nothing happened. Meanwhile, the pigs, you remember that? Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain were undergoing heavy austerity measures. Austerity is no joke. It means you cut pensions. It means you cut social support to those who need it the most. It means you push small companies out of business. And so there are at least two answers to the question, what does it mean today to be pro-European? One is, you stand for a Europe that top-down imposes on you asymmetrical measures based on prejudice. But the second one is what we are giving, the answer we are giving. We believe in a Europe where all voice matters, where we are equal, and where Brussels is a place where our democracy thrives, and not some place where measures are imposed upon us. But what happened at the time, as you know, was also successful. Brexit happened in 2017, which triggered the creation of Volt Europa, which is a good thing. But it also left profound scars, which I believe are also part of what we are seeing today in politics. So I want to define with you what kind of Europe we are fighting for. And I have a 3-pillar speech ready for you. Number 1, a welcoming Europe. I mentioned that 10 years ago, the far-right populists were all about regaining control. Today, they're not Eurosceptics. There's no one who wants to exit the EU. But what they want to build is Fortress of Europe, a place where the migrants are a threat to our culture, where they are a danger, where we have to fear them. A white supremacist Europe, I think we can say that. And so prisons are being built. They are being built with our money, often outside of our cities so we cannot see them, sometimes outside of our borders, in Libya, in Turkey, but also in a place like Albania, which for us, it's already a member association. Where are my Albanians, by the way? I cannot see them. Oh, okay, they're there. Thank you for coming. I actually visited twice the detention center that the Italian government has built in Albania. I am gonna try not to cry, but it's hard, because I can never forget one of the people I spoke to inside that detention center. He is a 20-year-old boy from Egypt who looked at me with his eyes filled with anger and despair, and he told me, yeah, okay, thank you for coming. You guys come, you tell me that it's gonna get better, but then I get locked in again, I bang my head on the wall, and nothing changes. It was very hard to hear, but he wasn't wrong. We are told that this unspeakable, inhuman system is the only alternative, that actually the opposite of it is a free pass for everybody, is even the Sharia law, because I want to make it very clear, a lot of this is based on anti-Muslim prejudice, that the alternative to building prison and let people die and maybe remigrate them without even knowing their story is chaos. But you know what's chaos instead? Chaos is a European migration pact that will be enforced in June 2026 and that enables racial profiling. Chaos is giving our money, our taxpayer money, to the so-called Libyan Coast Guard to shoot at people in our name with our money. Chaos is what they are doing. Fortress of Europe is not our Europe. Our Europe is one where all people are equal, is one where we thrive together, where we actually think that diversity is to be treasured, that where we want to attract talent, to blend in with ours, and to create solutions, different ways to think about how democracy can function, different ways to think about our economy can function, new solutions, something beautiful. And we can do this together. Number 2, an economically just Europe. We have been told a lie. The lie is that in order for the economy to thrive, you have to accept inequality. That some genius billionaire is sitting on an exorbitant pile of money, yes, but only because they're inventing the next big breakthrough that will bring us to the moon, to Mars, to whatever. Okay, but today there are 440 billionaires in Europe, is less people than in this room. 440 people are billionaires in Europe, and 93 million people are at risk of poverty or under the line of poverty. The math doesn't add up. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. We cannot be having a cost of living crisis, a housing crisis. We cannot have talent going outside of Europe to look for better salaries, to start their business, and then say, well, okay, but actually, you know, there are these 440 people sitting on 2.2 trillions of wealth. I can't even think of what 2.2 trillions of wealth means. It's just a number that doesn't make sense for how big it is. And we can't have the elites telling us that, actually, my dear, you are a radical leftist because you think that economic justice must be enforced in Europe. No, there's nothing radical about it. There's nothing radical. Actually, economic justice is a pragmatic measure, and I'll tell you why. Because if you cannot provide for your family, if you don't know what will happen by the end of the month, you will steal, you will loot, You will think that, you know what, after all, the social contract with which I have been provided, it's not such a good deal for me. Maybe I want to change it. So we demand that this United States of Europe that we are building is economically just, because only justice can bring prosperity. Number 3, a Europe that leads with courage on the international stage. All the leaders of the strong economies of the world are autocrats. Europe, wake up, look around, we are alone. We have been sleeping too comfortably for too long in the embrace of the US, our ally who became our daddy. We have been doing our diplomatic efforts in a chaotic way, in an ineffective way, and sometimes we just didn't do them at all. We just let others take care of whatever was coming. But how can we have a meaningful voice in the international stage if we don't pull ourselves together? How can we make sure that there is a just peace in Ukraine, that there is a just peace in Gaza, if we just leave it to others? I say it's time for a European army, for a European diplomacy. It's time for a European foreign policy. So we said a welcoming Europe, an economically just Europe, and a Europe that leads with courage on the international stage. This is our Europe, not the Europe of the tax havens, not the Europe of the fear of the walls, a Europe where we can thrive together, and we are already doing it, aren't we? I want to remind all of you that we have currently elected officials in the Netherlands, yes, in Germany, yes, but also in Belgium, in Greece, in Cyprus, in France, in Italy, in Portugal, in Czechia, and in Romania. And yes, there have been setbacks, but we are the young people who refuse to give up. We are the old people who bring experience and wisdom. We are the feminists that know that boys dropping out of school is as much as a tragedy as a woman making 80% of what her male colleagues make. These are two things that are not mutually exclusive. Feminism is about equality. Europe is about equality. And if everybody understood immediately what is it that we're trying to do, it would mean that there's nothing innovative in what we're doing. Volt is what happens right before an idea becomes mainstream. And we are the ones making it happen. So when they ask us, what is this United States of Europe that you want to build? We can say it's a welcoming Europe, it's an economically just Europe, and it's a Europe that leads with courage. And when they ask you, who is doing that? You can answer, we are. We are Volt. We are creating it. Keep this in mind with you in the next following days. With that, I officially declare our General Assembly open, and I want to ask you, are you ready? Yeah.